What's up, everyone? Welcome to After the Snap. This is a show about the part of football that doesn't happen on the field. The decisions, the conversations, the moments that actually shape a player's path long before Friday night lights come on. If you're a parent, an athlete, or coach trying to navigate the youth football, high school football, recruiting, or everything in between, this show is for you. There's a lot of noise out there. What camps do I go to? 7 on 7, do I play it? Trainers, social media, rankings, do I transfer? Everybody has an opinion, but not enough people are talking about how all of these pieces actually fit together. So today we're starting with the big picture, the ecosystem of New York football, youth leagues, high schools, training culture, recruiting, and how families can make better decisions inside of that. We're going to talk honestly about what matters, what doesn't, and where people tend to get it wrong. So, with that said, let's get into it. Mac, talk. What's up,
Yo,
baby?
yo.
Yeah, man. Welcome to After the Snap, fellas. Appreciate you guys going on this journey with us.
Yo,
So,
how's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling first, man? First
oh man, been a
episode.
long day. Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time coming. Man. It feel like we've been waiting months to get this done.
Tone, what's up, man? We
I
gon'
see
we
you,
gonna touch
Tone.
on that. Yeah, we gonna
Portal already hot,
touch on
huh?
that.
So let's before we get going and get the conversation started, fellas, let's introduce yourselves. I'm gonna start with Coach Tuck. Coach Tuck, please let the people know who you are, where you come from. We can't hear you, Tuck. You gotta unmute yourself, baby.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
He's a newcomer, y'all. Don't worry.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
I'm
what I'm
new. I'm
saying?
new.
Let's go, Tuck.
Yeah. I'm Coach Tuck. I coach youth football, Brooklyn United organization. Coach a little bit of high school at Cardinal Hayes. Did the JV for 1 year. I went to Abraham Lincoln High School. Sean O'Connor. We good guys. All right, Matt.
We got Coach Mac, man. Move the chains. Sheep said, here for the people, man. Always trying to get back to the New York City football community. You guys are kind of already know what I do within our org. So yeah, man, we just coming here today. Lyle, what's up, man? What's up, man? We
South Shore
coming
in the
here
building.
today to give some kind of some content for you guys on things that's going on off the field with New York City football.
I guess it's left to me, Coach Ed. Some call me the man, the myth, the legend. Let me just say before we start, Mac left out the fact that he is the 3A reigning 3A champion from this season. So clap it up for my man Mac, champion. Welcome. I'm Coach Ed. For those who don't know, I've been doing this for about 20 years. Started off coaching youth football, ran my own organization, the Bronx Chargers. Helped out in running a couple of leagues in New York City. Then transitioned into coaching high school football. I coach over at Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx. We are New York City is their slogan. And here, like Mac, man, I've helped a lot of kids navigate the youth football world, navigate choosing a high school, navigate choosing a college, and how to get recruited, exposure, and what those things mean. And what I want to do is help bring those conversations that happen kind of in private to the forefront, right? And that's what this podcast is going to be about, helping bring some knowledge to the people so that we can move and grow not only New York football but the game of football itself, right? Because things are changing, the landscape is changing, and I think people need insight.
But
First thing,
before we get
go ahead,
started,
Mac.
I definitely want to say um, we don't want to offend anybody. These are our opinions.
Yes,
We're not saying this as fact. This is what we think about the current state or the current situations of New York City football. We have the comment section here for you guys to leave your personal comments. We'll bring the comments up on the screen. We do have Dre from Sage Media working behind the scenes,
shout
so
out
he
Dre.
shout out Dre.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he'll
Dre. Shout out for blessing us with this
abs-
this podcast. This joint is dope, man.
yeah, man, amazing platform. So he's working behind the scenes with this podcast. As you guys can see, it is on his YouTube channel. So he'll be pulling up the comments and controlling the chat. Just make sure it doesn't get out of hand as well.
Thank you for that disclaimer, Mac. So first topic of the night, fellas, youth football. Tell me what you guys are thinking about the state of youth football here in New York City.
I kind of started off. I'm not as familiar as you guys with youth football. I deal with youth football in a small aspect. I had the eighth grade All Star game where I'm able to see the eighth graders from around the city and Long Island. We have Long Island kids playing it as well. Um, I really word, you ain't lying about that, Randy. I really think youth football is headed in the right direction. I don't know what it's gonna take. I always try to be the middleman for a lot of situations in the city. I don't know what it can take for us to condense some of the teams. I think we have a lot of youth football teams right now, and I think we'll have a better product if guys can come together and merge. I know merging looks down upon, and I see like on Facebook, and I see it's this guy that says you guys are merging dummies or something like that. He says something like
Okay,
that.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that post.
Yeah. So and it's looked down upon. I think it's a good thing for teams to merge, especially teams that's struggling. If you have a struggling program, I think you guys should merge. Now there are some teams out there that's been around longer than I could been alive. The
Scott
super
Hawks,
teams,
Renegades, yeah.
yeah. So those teams, I think they have a formula in place. I'm not speaking to those teams, and I'm not condoning the super teams as well. So if your team is already good, I'm not asking you to merge with another program to make a stronger
So
program.
so Mac, not to cut you off there, but Tuck, as a youth football coach, right? How do you feel about the merger situation? Have you ever been approached to merge, and how does that work out? Do
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
that benefits kids? What do you think?
I org been approached to merge, but my opinion, it hurts some of the kids that making the cut of getting better. They lose the opportunity to play if you merge because what you playing the best 11.
Okay. So you
And then,
think
I
that
mean,
you think
it's
it
22,
development
it's 20,
suffers?
yeah, it's 22 kids that's going to play offense and defense because you're going to have an offense, you're going to have a defense. Everybody's not going to play both sides. So some of the kids that's there ready, to peak, they're not going to be able to do that if you have a loaded team.
That's true, but I think on the other side of that, think about what the goal right now in youth football in New York City, and this wasn't my goal, but the goal right now is to travel and trying to win a national. So, in that vein, does merging make sense because guys are trying to compete out of state, or should the goal of youth football right now really be about developing kids for the next level? What do you think, Mac?
Yeah, I think it's always be about developing. And I don't want to be that guy that says you don't want to travel and win.
Hmm.
Like everybody, but the majority of coaches are in coaching because they're competitors at heart. So yeah, we definitely want these teams to travel and try to beat the OG Ducks and all the other teams out there. But then at the same time, we want the kids to get developed for the high school level. You have kids coming to high school who has played 3, 4 years of youth football and have a hard time getting a 3 point stance. And I feel like that's a disservice. And we should do better on that. Ed, I know you ran a youth organization, the Bronx Chargers, for X amount of years. Your take on merging? Would you have been open to merging if you had low numbers? Let's say you had a 13U that only had 14 kids.
That's a fact, Tone. That's hold on, Mac, not to cut you off.
Yeah,
Egos is a big issue. That's one of the issues, man.
Yeah, so Mac, just to say, when I ran the Bronx Chargers, our main goal was really about development of the kids, and I didn't really choose to try to go to Florida, but I do agree with you that when numbers are low, right? It makes more sense to consolidate teams, consolidate staff. I think the more staff you can have coaching these kids is going to help with development, right? Sometimes a youth team may only have one or two coaches on a level, and they can't really teach the kids in by position and break down things like that. And quick shameless plug here, but Cardinal Hayes is hosting a coaching clinic for youth coaches. We're inviting the New York City high school coaches out to on Martin Luther King Day where guys can better their craft, right? Because that's what we're about. That's what this podcast is about, is better New York football. But in instance that we didn't have enough kids or didn't have enough staff, we would have merged with folks. We didn't necessarily have that issue to later on in our careers. And what I chose to do was kind of walk away from the youth game in that sense, when I didn't think I was doing a great enough service to the kids that we had there. So we kind of moved on from that.
I mean, I understand with lower numbers. Yeah, you merge teams with lower numbers.
That's what I was.
You
That's
know,
what I was talking
but
about.
when you got 30 kids on a roster, like, what are we doing? Who we hurting? Who we helping? Who we developing?
Well, I don't think 30 is a bad number. If I had a 13U with 30 kids, you saying that some of the kids won't be playing?
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
again, Mac, just and Tuck, just thinking about the next level. High school teams will have 50 kids on their roster, right?
I was about to say,
When do we kind of show them what the next level looks like? When do we
It's
stop coddling the kids? Like when do we develop them?
It's happening in high school also, right?
yeah.
Kids are standing on the sidelines for 4 years, man.
We gonna get to high school later. We gonna get to high school later. I like that, a lot of upstate small school stuff, and we're gonna talk about high school, public high school, private schools. We definitely gonna get into that later. That's gonna be a big thing. What I want you guys to understand is that I know it's college football playoffs. Miami playing Ole Miss. I get it. You see that ticker at the bottom? We will put the score up for you. Don't go nowhere. You stay tuned because we'll have that score up there for you, right? To make sure you know what's going on in that game, right? Dre's in the background. I know Dre gonna have that ticker right. So stay here with us. This conversation I think is important. Now, we were talking about youth football and development versus nationals. Let's keep on the topic of development, right? And I saw a post the other day by the T page, the New York Barista, and I'm just letting the T page know in a couple of weeks I'm gonna send them a DM. I don't know how they gonna hide their face on here or mask their voice so they can show up and talk. I'd like to find out what some of his sources are or her sources are, but the T page had a post about trainers in New York City, right? And whether trainers are doing kids a disservice or they just taking money. What do you guys think about the training landscape? I know there's a bunch of trainers out there. I know some guys.
My favorite guy, CJ Turn Fitness.
Hey CJ, you're gonna have to pay for that ad next time.
Nah,
All right, we're not gonna be giving out
that's
free
my
ads.
guy. He don't gotta pay for that. That's my
But
guy.
CJ's a great trainer in New York, right? There's I know Wayne Morgan has a thing. There's the Playmakers Academy. There's Prototype was training people that want. There's a bunch of guys out there. I know
Lineman Factory.
Lineman
Lineman
Factory.
Factory. I was gonna say Be Great. Like there's a bunch of guys out
Be
there.
great
You got Jamal Shelters
with the running backs.
Yeah.
back.
So let's talk about that. How important is off-season development for kids? Should kids be just in the weight room? Should they be playing 7-on-7? Should they be with a private trainer? Should they be doing all three? What's your take, Mac? What are your kids doing?
My kids are doing a couple things. They're doing 7-on-7. Our linemen are getting some work. I do think that parents should get more involved when it comes to their kids' off-season plan. I know you just named a lot of great trainers. Some of those trainers are designed for specific things. I know CJ, he does a lot of things at his facility. Wayne kind of concentrates on speed and agility, and I know he works with DBs as well. Jamal does the running backs. Coach L does linemen. So there's a lot of trainers out there. I know we had a conversation before, and I was asking myself, are we lacking in New York City with trainers? And then you brought the post. People start asking like, what makes a trainer qualified? I don't think there's any such thing. I think parents have to do their due diligence and finding out what this trainer brings to the table. Who has this person trained before? Stamp of approval. Yes, he works with linemen as well. Who has this trainer worked with before, and how did those kids turn out? And then go to the training sessions and see what they're doing with your kid. I don't think the training aspect is not left for the coaches.
Mm.
It's kind of on the parent as far as as far as my take.
And I see these comments. There's two comments I want to call out. The first one I'm going to talk about is the one I think from Brooklyn Tone that said should that trainers should be seen in the springtime, and right now should just be the weight room. Does it make sense that we should split that up, right? So kids should focus right now on putting on some body armor, putting on some weight, some conditioning, and then as the weather warms up, get into their individual position specific training. Is there such thing as overtraining, right? I think I agree with Brooklyn Tone, right? I think that you should kind of segment it, right? You should focus on right now, maybe heavy lifting, building your strength, getting ready. You just had a season where you're a little bruised up. You want to build the body back up, and then once you get that under you, you can transition that into a little more maintenance work. But now starting to move around on the field, kind of like college football, where those guys are after Christmas break, they're in the weight room, right, and they're coming out in March and April for spring ball.
You don't think kids should be lifted all year round, though?
I definitely think they should lift all year round, right? But I think, right, there's phases in lifting, right? There's different phases in what I consider a good strength and conditioning program. So I think the phase that guys should be in right now is more heavy bulk, lifting, where they're trying to get bigger, trying to get stronger, again, recovering from their season and putting some body armor back on them. And then as they get to the summer, so not the summer, but the spring, like Coach Tone said here, working on their ability, their agilities and their speed some more and moving around on the field. And I think that could be where there's guys can get in to doing trainer work. But like you said, how does someone pick a trainer? Now, just to jump into, I think what Lyle said is, he said there's some double-edged swords with these trainers. As a high school coach, how do you feel about a trainer who may be teaching your kid a technique you don't teach, right? So you may teach shuffle steps at the DB position, and this trainer is teaching the kid to backpedal all the time. And then when you get them on the field, you've got to break that habit. How does that work? What do you think the high school coach should be involved with?
I don't know.
Trainers?
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead,
Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know if that's a high school coach's place to kind of, he can suggest where to go as far as a trainer wise, but you don't want to step on a parent's toes. If a parent is involved and they have somebody that they think can develop their child, I think they should go to that person and then see if it works, see if it doesn't. I know that's maybe teaching different techniques. One thing I want to point out, Lyle put a great comment up that I don't even think the cities we're not even in that kind of that phase yet. But he said nutritionists.
Oh, big part of it.
But we don't hear anybody talk about that. It's not a thing.
It's a big part of it.
It's a huge part of it.
And there was a comment earlier about upstate schools and stuff like that, and I'm gonna save it. But when we get to private schools and public schools, I think part of some of the differences you see with kids is the ability to go home sometimes to home cooked meals and eating properly, right? Because that's part of development and growth. A lot, like you said, something that's overlooked a lot, right? Putting enough protein in your body after lifting so that you can grow and develop your muscles, you can heal and recover properly. Those are big things that's part of the process.
But why don't we have somebody providing foods for these kids? Like, we have a bunch of trainers. We have 25 7-on-7 programs, but we don't have any nutritionists, families that can invest in. Hey, my child weighs 145 pounds. I'm trying to get this kid to 160 by the season. What kind of meal plans or meal prep can we do for this kid?
No, I think that's a huge part of seeing a kid, like you said, go from 135, 140 to 165 in the off season. But you touched on 25 7-on-7 programs. I don't know all 25, right? I know PLE, I know Be Great Academy, I know New York Hustle, I know the New York A's, the Athletics, I know the Punishers, right? What do we think about all these 7-on-7 teams? I remember just maybe 10 years ago, there was like 2. Now there's a lot. It's a good thing because a lot more kids are playing football. But is there a need to play football year round? Is there a need to travel with 7-on-7 football? What do you guys think? Tuck,
Yeah,
your
no,
son
no.
played, right?
Yeah, my son played 707.
Hmm.
I mean, I put him in 707 for three things: to learn DB work, to cover man, run zones, to learn that. I mean, he did it in the U, but in 707, there's more passing than in the youth. So catching, because you if you're a receiver, you got to catch. So that helped out in the process of of him playing football. But I really think 707 it helps kids develop and all those things that I just said. Covering, playing man and man, um, whatever you weaken. I mean, it can help you.
Um, 707. I think 707 is great. Um, I think it gives the kids something to do in the off season. Kids
Keep it
want to be
moving.
yeah, and these kids want to be entertained year round.
So
Uh,
Mac, let me just interrupt you real quick. You
mhm.
said it gives you something to do in the off season. We had a guy in the comments say kids should play multiple sports. Should kids play 7-on-7? Should football season 7-on-7, spring ball, then enter camp, or should kids go run track? Should kids go play basketball? Is 7-on-7 better than playing basketball for kids? What do you think about that? How does that help the athletic development?
Or most, not most, yeah, most kids, most football players are not on the basketball teams.
Yeah, most, but
It,
they could run track or wrestle or do another sport, lacrosse, things like that.
so, I think you could do both simultaneously. 7-on-7 is not a time consuming thing. Kids show up to practice sometimes, they don't sometimes. They love to travel. I think that's a great
Mm,
thing for 7-on-7. Even if you just go into Jersey. Like, I know there's some programs that go to South Carolina, Texas, Florida. I think that is phenomenal. If you're able to bring a bunch of kids to those places. But even just going over to Jersey, going to Pennsylvania, going to Delaware, they get to see what those kids are kind of bringing to the table. Um, and then it shows them how to sum up their game. I think it's developing the kids. Um,
I'm not gonna let you answer that. No pressure on you. You ain't got to answer that. I know you cool with too many 7-on-7 programs. Lyle just said something important. We got to keep our kids on a short leash with 7-on-7 teams. At how What do you say to coaches that want to babysit their kids and don't allow them to go off and play 7-on-7? Should kids only be playing with their school-based team? What happens when your school doesn't have a team? Right?
all right.
Tuck. I mean, your son was where?
Move the chains. Run by Coach Mack.
Okay, but your son was he in high school when he played Move the Chains?
Nah, he wasn't in high school yet.
Okay, all right.
He wasn't in high school yet.
No,
Wow, I don't think I knew. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
No, he wasn't.
Ah,
His high school team wouldn't let him play, right, Mac?
He wasn't in high school yet. He
Mac,
was
his high
in
school team wouldn't have let him
he
play.
was in seventh
yeah.
grade.
Really? Wow, I didn't know it was that long
Yeah, it was
ago.
in seventh grade.
Wow. Yeah. So I think some program in some high schools, their coaches take. Nah, he was younger. Well, he wasn't. He wasn't older. Some high schools they don't do 7-on-7. And I haven't really heard. Don't quote me on this, but I haven't heard a high school coach say, at least remove the chains. I can't speak for any other organizations, but I haven't heard a high school coach tell a kid not to play 7-on-7. Like, I haven't heard any kid have said that. When you had those club teams, I don't. You can develop, but it's more about competing. And I think
Yeah.
you can
Hmm.
you can get better by competing. But when another shameless plug, when Be Great put together the 7-on-7 season, and it was for high school teams only, I think that was a lot beneficial because now you're working with your high school players and teammates. So
Hey,
now timing comes into play. You're running your concepts that you run in the regular season. I thought that was I want to say this on air. I thought that was an amazing idea.
Oh,
Like,
I agree. I hope that Be Great is bringing that back. I think I saw a post about a meeting coming up, that interest meeting. We want to shout those guys out. We will repost that for you. Just big shout out to I Am Propanes for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Check out that channel. My guy likes to stream. That's a youth coach who's a high school parent who went through the process. I was
Yes, that's my guy. My guy,
yeah,
aka Coach Smitty.
I was blessed to help him and his son go to college, and just
Big
for everyone that
Wolf.
knows, where Wolf didn't have to pay for school, and it wasn't Division 1, but he didn't have to pay for school because we did the proper channels, did the right steps, took care of business, took care of his books. Smitty was on him, man, and that was a great thing that happened. But I want to jump back to what you said, Mac. So I know for a fact that public schools in Connecticut, they have a 7-on-7 league that they play in, right? So
mhm.
when the guys over at South Shore or Be Great Academy put together that 7-on-7 league, that was dope, man. It was all the way in Brooklyn, so I think it made it a little difficult for the teams uptown to get there on a Friday at 4 o'clock and stuff like that. But I would love to see more
Maybe you can
teams.
get in
Yo,
contact with
yo,
those guys and expand it to
yeah, I was about to
uptown.
say that, Mac. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, was Catholic involved in that, or was just public?
That was just PSAL, right? There was
Well,
no Catholic schools there
yeah, but it was open. It was
to
definitely
anybody.
open. Well, hold on. I think Holy Cross was involved. They might
Okay.
have came one Friday. But I definitely think you should get in contact with those guys. I would love to see it expand this spring. I thought it was a dope idea. The Friday nights was amazing. Shout out to Lincoln High School for opening up their doors, so the kids can have that experience. Before I want to come back to 7-on-7, but somebody mentioned HSPD, um, and the program that was had in New York City. I want to say about 15 years ago. HSPD was an amazing program, and because the NFL was involved, a lot of the high schools, or maybe all of the high schools, participated. They had different locations. All of the schools came to one location. For those who don't know what HSPD was, it was a
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's
program.
talk to him about it.
Yeah, it was a program funded by the NFL in the springtime, where kids were putting on equipment in the springtime and meeting at one location and being developed.
Let me
All high. Go ahead. Go
Their
ahead.
yeah, let
jerseys,
me
their
yeah.
jerseys was HSPD, correct?
Yeah. Let me give you
Yeah, I
even
remember
even,
that. I
even more
remember.
context. So here in New York City, and matter of fact, it wasn't just New York City. The guy who ran HSPD and the youth version of that was called JPD, the Junior Player Development
JPD.
League.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in
That
there.
was Jerry Horwitz, legendary New York City head coach at Kennedy High School. He was running that for the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
they were again. I've been around a long time. I was lucky enough to host an JPD site, right? And the NFL shipped us boxes of equipment to put kids in equipment. They gave them bags, they gave them jerseys,
Yes.
helmet and shoulder pads, pants, and pads. And we got the kids on the field, and we had a I don't want to mess this up. It was a 3-day practice plan that was given to all the coaches, and they taught. It was over 6 weeks, and the kids would go through learning how to be an offensive lineman, learning how to be a running back, learning proper stances, starts, how to catch the ball properly, how to take a snap, right? And then what I loved in the Bronx is what we used to do in JPD is we used to do a little scrimmage for them. Tone Big Apple is a little different situation than what we're talking about here.
Yo, but
The
Tone mentioned a good thing, and not to cut you off.
yeah,
HSPD and JPD was at Canarsie, and to kind of give some context, Ed is speaking it from a coaching and adult standpoint.
yeah,
When JPD and HSPD was out, I was a student. When JPD was around, I was going up the block to Canarsie High School to do JPD at Canarsie High School, and then when I was in high school, HSPD was at Erasmus, and all the schools came together. Man, it was amazing, man. If we can kind of get that back to the city, wow, that'd be really nice.
But that's how New York will be great, man. We need a lot of people to come together and help the kids, man, because we got a lot of talent in New York City, man. A
well,
lot.
Well, I saw in there about exposure. I think part of what New York City is struggling with is New York City's fighting for exposure and maybe leaning towards exposure rather than development. And I think it goes hand in hand, right? I think you need development and exposure. And I think, like you said, what HSPD did, what JPD did was really focus on developing kids for 6 weeks in a structured way that gave coaches a practice plan, gave kids a plan and an ability to develop and really learn the game. Want to give a big shout out to Adam Howard, my guy, and Tuck got the commission in here with the super chat. We appreciate you. I know kickoff happened, fellas, so we're gonna get into something that's gonna keep you interested. So HSPD high school, you said you did it at Canarsie, right? High school kids got to get in that. And we talked also about that 7-on-7 that was mostly public school teams, PSAL teams. Mac, give me your not you first. Tuck, tell me what your thoughts on. You've seen public school football, high school football. You've seen Catholic school high school football. Um, Tell me what the difference is. Not saying one is better than the other, but what's the difference to you in maybe the environments or the way the game is going with those two leagues in New York?
Man, whew. You trying to get me fired?
Nah, man, I'm just asking your opinion as a parent,
I
as a
mean, yeah,
player.
I seen both. I've been around both. I mean, Catholic. That's a tough league, man. That's a tough league. A lot of coaching goes on in Catholic, man. You got to be on your A game in that Catholic league of football. But public too, man. They got some great coaches in public, and some not. I mean, that goes all around. But Catholic,
Definitely.
I really like the Catholic league. I really do. I mean, I love my guys at Lincoln. They're a hell of a coaches. But I think that may be the difference of coaching.
All right. So Mac, before you jump in on that, what I want to ask you is the PSAL has been making some changes, right? So back in the days, back maybe when you played, I know when Tuck played, it was like Bronx, Manhattan, it was Brooklyn 1, Brooklyn 2, it was Queens. Now there was Staten Island. Now they're 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A. What do you think about just the structure of the PSL right now? Do you think it's moving towards the right direction and making the league more competitive and getting the right teams to play each other week in and week out?
Um, I just want to make a quick statement, man. I'm a PSAL guy through and through.
We know.
Is even if I hate the way they do things, I'm always going to stand by the PSAL. Just want to put that out there. I think the PSL is always 3 steps behind, but they try. Right now, the PSL is in a phase where they're trying to mimic other states. That's where the 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A thing came into play. It was based on enrollment, and now it's based on enrollment and how good a team is. So I like that direction. I like that direction. I like the fact that they give teams an option to request to move up, because then it makes those divisions. Because if we stayed by only enrollment, um, Eagle 2, Erasmus will be playing in like the 2A. So I'm glad that they structured it to a way where, yes, we're doing it by enrollment, but also we're keeping in mind of the talent situation, like how talented a school is. Even though they have low numbers, they're a powerhouse program. I think the PSAL puts more into and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all, but they put more into education than they do into the sports. I'm hoping, and this is wishful thinking, I'm hoping that changes. Um,
Mm.
and I can see it changing. It may be me just being optimistic, and I may not even be coaching in the PSL when it happens. But I
Whoa.
think I think we're going in that direction of where they'll realize that sports is what's keeping enrollment afloat within the city.
Is that true in PSAL public schools? Do you think the athletics is what keeps the school enrolled? I mean, it's public school. Do you think
Absolutely, absolutely.
where would kids go if they were going somewhere else?
They can go private, poly prep.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? They can.
poly prep's expensive.
Poly prep is a lot. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. A lot of the Catholics in private schools, they cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that having public schools,
You gotta have a good plug.
well, if you have a good plug, you know what I'm saying, you can kind of get some financials situated. But a lot of people don't have that plug. That's the minority. Well, the majority doesn't have that good plug.
But Mac, it's a who you know game, right?
Fellas, let's
It's who
get
you
back.
know.
Let's get back to football, right? So
No, we're talking about football.
No, it
the
is
PSL
football, though.
league.
It is football.
This is football.
How you?
It's
The
just
PSL league is making changes. Somebody said it for the better, right? With the structure, it's more structured like how other states are, or how the rest of New York is, based on enrollment size and things like that. And we're getting, I think, more competitive games, right?
That's how Georgia operates like that.
Yeah, a bunch of places, I'd love to see the PSAL kind of move their schedule so they can participate in the New York State state championship tournament.
I think
that'd be
I think it's being worked on right now. Can't really disclose too much.
Okay.
You talking about how they do in basketball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that before, if I'm not mistaken?
You mean the PSL?
Yeah.
Way back when they had something called a Metro Bowl.
Yeah.
The Metro Bowl, yeah.
That wasn't for states though. That was still like a city thing.
Yeah, it was Catholic champion versus the
public champion.
Public champion. Okay, thank you, Drake. Drake said basketball stopped 2 years ago.
Okay.
But okay, so I'm a Catholic school guy, right? Many people don't know I started off as a public school guy, like referring all my kids to public school, and then I kind of moved over into the Catholic school world. I think the PSL is moving in the right direction. I do think there's a difference in the games or the style of play in the two leagues. But I think the PSL is moving in the right direction. I think New York football, I remember, again, when my first son, who was playing high school football, we might be happy to get 20 kids to go to college for football a year, right? We've had a couple of years where there were 20 kids to go to scholarship level football in New York City. So New York City football is growing and developing. The elephant in the room, Mac, is what I know you want to talk about: Catholic or public. Which league is better?
Before we get there, I want to talk a little more on the Catholic school league. The Catholic school league has how many teams in it? I don't want to say the wrong number.
I believe it's somewhere between 23 and 26, man.
We see between 23. Hold on, let me finish.
Just put your notes up on the screen, man. Just put your notes on the screen.
No. So they have about like 23 to 26 teams.
Yes.
The PSAL, I think right now we have 53 schools who have a football program or a varsity team, whichever you want to say. And it's a lot of kids within the city. 23. All right, thanks, Jarrell. So if you have less, you're able to pour more into less.
Hold on. Are you saying because there's less teams, they can pour more what into it?
Resources, funds.
No. That's the teams are funded by the schools. There's some schools that are struggling to field teams in the Catholic League.
Like who?
There's some schools that only have one level that are getting kids who've never played football before.
Having three levels is a luxury.
I mean, to me, the word program means you have multiple levels, right? So there's
two,
but
two is multiple.
Okay. I'm just saying that the Catholic League, just because there's less teams doesn't mean there's more funding there. Each school is funded in its own separate way. So there could be a school, school A may be funding their football program at $300 per kid. I'm just gonna make up a number here. While
Yeah.
school B might be funding their program at $700 a kid. There's no correlation um between being just a private school. That means you have more funding for your program. I'll even give you a fact that there's one school that had to shut down their program this year, right? Smaller league. This team had to fold. More Catholic, unfortunately, had to fold their program this year. So the
You
funding
can't.
alone isn't going to keep the program going. In.
No. We can't use, and respect to all of the more Catholic
Absolutely,
coaches.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And Bond's my
but
guy.
but we can't use that as an example because something happened for that program to fold. The year before, that program was perfectly fine.
So Matt,
Something. Yeah.
so you basing it off how many schools are in Catholic and then PSAL?
Yeah, so my opinion is similar to the youth league, to New York City youth football. I think some of the smaller schools, if they were to merge, which is it's impossible, it's never going to happen. But if they were to merge, the league will be a better league.
Why? Explain it. What
What
do you mean? Better league? How? Better league on the field? Would the product on the field be better? You're saying? Would you?
Absolutely,
Because there were less teams.
because it's a bigger program. So
Okay.
let me just. I know you've been at Hayes for a long time. I've coached at high schools that had small numbers at a point in time, and what happens at those high schools is that kids take practice and off-season training for granted because they know they're basically guaranteed a spot. At Sheepshead Bay, we have a decent number of kids on both levels, and with that being in place, the kids know they can always be replaced at any given time. They know it could be the next guy up, and I think that's what helps and builds a strong foundation. In schools in PSAL, you can go to the website, look at their roster size. Erasmus,
But
look
is
at their
that
look at their roster size. 70 kids. Tottenville, 75 kids.
Mac? But that's not a funding question. That's really, in my opinion, a legwork question.
No, that's not.
Yeah, you got to go out and get some kids. You got to go out and get some kids so that you can develop competition in your program. You
I
can't.
moved off from funding. I moved
Okay,
off from funding.
so the
Right
fact
now,
that
right now, I'm talking
yeah,
about the product on the field.
okay, but that product is to me part of the reason why you have a good product on the field is the legwork that the coaches put in, right? And to breed the competition, like you said in your program, you're breeding competition. Kids can't be complacent. They know that their spot is up for grabs. In order to do that, you have to bring in kids who want to play football into your school, right? As a private school coach, I have to bring in people willing to pay tuition, right? In order to get them to be on my roster. I don't know why your eyes went up like that.
So we're talking about recruiting now.
I don't want to say I don't want to say recruiting because that's a taboo word. But Lyle, we will get into recruiting in another session, another podcast about recruiting and what's going on in high school, right? But
you're saying,
yeah, recruiting ninth
right.
graders, right?
Eighth
Enrollment.
graders, be careful.
That's what I mean. Eighth graders, right?
You said ninth.
Right. To what I'm saying is that you gotta bring in kids so that you can build a competitive program. You can't just wait to see who comes in your door and then try to fill the team from that. You've got to go out and find young men who want to play football, who are eighth graders, and bring them into your program and start building that way.
Are you saying that public school coaches don't actively go out? No, let me finish. Don't actively go out and try to get try to get eighth grade kids?
No. What I'm saying is,
Okay.
and maybe this is the difference, is that Catholic school coaches have no choice, right? Our schools won't remain open without us actively going to bring young men into the building to get a Catholic education, to get a college preparatory education, and to play athletics and support our athletic teams in the school. That's how many Catholic schools stay open and stay vibrant, right? Through their athletic teams and through what that school spirit brings and how that helps these schools go on, because sometimes people don't want to pay for that amazing education they're going to get at the Catholic school, right? But sometimes they'll pay for an amazing athletic experience. So it goes hand in hand in Catholic schools having that done. In public schools, what I'm saying is that that's not a condition that public school coaches have to go by. Kids are always going to enroll in public school, right?
Y'all see the chat?
Nah, I haven't seen it. I haven't
Cut y'all off. RFR said the best kids in Brooklyn go to the same selected schools. They're not getting spread out amongst the 53 public schools. He also said to sit here and say that the talent pool is the reason why there's a difference. That there is a difference. It's crazy.
I don't know if anyone said that the talent pool is different. Is that what you were saying, Mac? There's a difference in the talent pool?
Talent pool where?
Public
On
and
a high school
private.
level?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't saying no.
Okay.
We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to
Hey,
that.
hey, guys! I want you to
that's
know.
a fact, though. He did say that they don't go amongst the 53 public schools.
Lyle, this will not be a 7-hour show tonight. So Mac better get to his point that he want to make soon.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Legree, if I'm not mistaken.
So what I was saying was, yes, they don't go to all 53 schools.
Correct.
And I think, one, I said it was too many schools. I think it's too many schools to service just the city. And then two, I don't believe that half of the schools in the PSAL, their coaches go out and actively try to get kids from these youth organizations.
That's what I said, man.
No, I said half. I'm blaming.
Okay.
I'm blaming half.
Okay.
Like you try to make it as the
I wasn't a blanket statement. I apologize if you felt that it wasn't blanket.
I did feel away.
Okay. All right.
And another thing, dealing with these kids. Like I mentioned earlier, I do an 8th grade game. In my 8th grade game, I've had coaches from New York City, from the PSEL and the Catholic School League, ask me. They asked me. You know what they asked me? Why would I let Don Bosco get on the field and attend the game? For me, like I said, it's never been a me thing. It's what's best for the community. It's what's best for the kids. I say that to say, if a public school coach is trying to get a kid within the city, and a Catholic school within the city comes in and start offering aid.
Oh,
kids,
man.
kids, I said aid.
So what you
wait,
wait.
don't cut me, please, no. I need you to try to cut me off. Don't
go ahead, finish with your
finish.
aid.
Please finish with your quotations.
Aid.
Catholic
school coaches come in and they can start offering aids,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
These kids then go on Twitter, Instagram, and they'll make a post and say, I'm not going to say a name of a school, but X school just offered me a full ride, right?
Cap.
For us, no, hold on, no, not cap. For us,
I've never seen that.
What?
I seen not in that terms. I seen a kid say, "I got a full scholarship to a Catholic school." Okay.
Yeah. I've seen that. It's exactly what I've seen. So for us public school guys,
but that could be for grades, Matt.
It can, but he can run the hell out of a counter. And the kid maybe 6. He may be 6'4" in the 8th grade.
So Mac, I want to let you finish, but what I heard, what I think you forgot to say, is that a Catholic school may come in and offer a better academic environment.
That's not what I was saying.
I that's what you should have said, though, right? It might come in and offer better coaching. Might come in and offer a more competitive league. It might come in and offer more collegiate opportunities. You might have wanted to say that.
Statistics show that public schools have a better education than Catholics. If you compare, hold on, let me finish. If you compare the Catholic schools to our top public schools, Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, Fort Hamilton. Look at let me finish.
Go ahead. Quasi public.
Go.
Every kid can't go to Brooklyn Tech.
Hold on.
I can't go down to the
I
enrollment
said,
center and sign up for Brooklyn Tech.
I said Fort Hamilton,
I can't sign up for
Midwood,
Stuyvesant. All right, those are
Madison.
okay. So
These
you
are
think
all schools, and then hold on, let me finish. Then we have charter schools now, and I'll do a shameless plug. United Charter AMS3 is one of the best academic schools in the state, and it just happens to be located inside of Sheepshead Bay High School. So
But
if you go online and look at the numbers will show which education is actually better.
so? I'm hold on.
yeah, because
So
Madison, you can't just walk up and get into Madison either.
he know
No,
that he
no,
playing around.
you can't walk up and get into any school. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
not you can walk up and get in Cardinal
Oh.
Hayes, but we talk about that later. So
Well, that's
men
why
lie.
the academics don't. That's why the academics don't
So
lie.
right, so men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So Mac, so maybe there are a few, several, dozens of public schools that compete academically with some private institutions, but there are many more public schools that don't compete at all, and you know that, right? So yeah, you can name a couple of schools that can compete, but how many other schools that don't compete? There's 53 schools in your league. If let's not name 4 schools that compete and be like, hey, these schools are competing, all right?
So you're saying
Loud was
that
crazy. I hear you, Loud. And by the way, I went to Stuyvesant. I went to public school,
yes.
right? But it wasn't easy to get into Stuyvesant, and it wasn't easy to stay there. But all I'm saying is, kids aren't running the Catholic schools because they're getting aid. I just want to just take that misnomer, that rumor out of the air. I want to stop that here on this show.
So, Ed,
Sometimes
I don't want to cut you off. I just want to bring up a comment. I don't know if we can find it. Somebody brought up, and this was not me. You can look at the comments. This is not me. Somebody said in the comments that alumni fund for some kids to attend.
no.
Catholic schools.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Me.
I'm not
No,
gonna
this
let you
was
do
not
that.
me.
That's not what it said. That's not what it
Oh,
said.
what did it say? I'm sorry.
It said yeah. I know you. It said parents and alumni support private school football programs more than they do PSL programs.
No.
Support.
Hey,
That's what it said.
Drake,
That's what it said. I saw it, Matt.
Matt,
Drake.
what we doing, Matt?
No,
What we doing?
No.
You can scroll down. Who said it?
No,
I seen that
Drake,
one.
You saw it, right?
No, I seen
yeah,
the
you saw the one I
said.
said. Yeah, man,
I
stop
seen
that.
one.
We're not gonna let you. You know.
Give me 1 second. I promise you, somebody said it in the comments.
And all those schools y'all mentioned,
So Mac,
they're not competitive.
Mac, what I would love to do.
That's what a comment.
Right. What I love to do before we end this show is if the top 7 played the top 7.
You see it up?
No, we don't see it yet.
I'm looking at something else.
Mac, you can hear me, Mac. If the
Yeah,
top 7 played the top 7, what would happen?
I saw some of the comments in the chat saying E-Hall versus
Iona. I saw that one.
I wasn't going to address it until we got here.
I didn't see that, and
No, it's there.
It's there.
I seen that.
If the top 7 played the top 7 in the Catholic school league, I just want to, before we even get into that, because this has to be said. How many coaches?
Oh, 7-0. 7-0 what? Public or private?
Who said 7-0?
Kyle.
Oh, okay. I know what.
He
I know.
said 7-0. Is that public or private?
Before
the best Catholic school football. Hold on, not to cut you off. The best Catholic school teams are way better than the PSL football teams in terms of academics.
Absolutely, I can agree with that. Absolutely, the good academic schools in the PSAL, yeah, they're not.
Robert said no competition. Somebody said E-Hall has already been destroyed by Iona. Ask Darius Wilson. Oh.
That was the scrimmage. We're not counting that.
Before we get into that, I have a couple questions before we actually dive into that. How many coaches roughly? This is not just talking about Hayes. How many coaches get paid on on Catholic schools rosters?
Unfortunately, that's not public
Stats.
information. I don't know. But
Okay.
I just want to, hey Mac, before you continue, I want to let everybody know this is an hour show, and we about out of time.
That's an hour.
That's been an hour. So, but I'm gonna let you continue. Right, we're gonna go a little over because this is
Yeah,
the first show.
we're gonna give them five.
We're
Yeah,
gonna give
give
some
them
extra
5 more
minutes.
minutes.
But before we
Yeah.
get there, I just want to I'm gonna jump and then we're gonna come right back to this. Just a matter of fact, go ahead. Yeah, I want to talk about recruiting and college coaches coming in. I saw Rutgers was out in New York City this week. So I just want to talk about recruiting and that seminar that's coming up where people get to go see college coaches, talk about that. But go ahead, go finish your point.
So I did some homework before we came on the show. I did some homework. I did a little bit of homework. So I asked a couple coaches around the Catholic League, hey coach, how many coaches on your staff get paid? And there was a number in between 6. That was the lowest number that I've gotten was 6.
Okay.
And that was a fairly a smaller school. Okay. And then I've gotten 12. Okay. And that was on a kind of a large side.
Somebody said they got a blank check. How much more, Sage, for an extra hour? How much? Say that, Sage. We got to go more, Sage. You got a blank check for us, baby.
We'll definitely get into that into the matchups. But what I want to say is, I want to salute all of my volunteer PSAL coaches.
Can't do it without them.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. On the back.
Yeah, Matt, Chuck was a volunteer coach, but yes, you can't do it without the volunteers. Agreed.
For those who don't know, I just gave you some numbers for paid coaches in the Catholic League. For those who don't know, PSAL only offers 3 paid slots. So the PSAL is kind of asking 3 guys to manage sometimes 75 to 80 kids. This is JV and varsity. It's only 3 paid slots. Thank you.
There you go. It just popped up.
Is that from a Catholic school coach?
No, that was Dre. Dre posted that.
Oh no, I see.
Oh no. Loud Cage.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you, man.
That's wait. That's Loud Cage is with what school? Is he a high school coach?
No, that doesn't matter. I'm
asking. Loud, what Catholic school you coach at that you can make that statement?
The statement didn't come from me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so Loud, please put your Catholic school you coach at so we all know your Catholic school as the school you coach at. That's
so like I was saying, PSL is only working with 3.
ICDC. I see you, Loud. Hey, Loud, I love your content. Loud. Your page is popping. You guys got the most I think followers in New York high school football.
So let's just keep in mind that it's only 3 paid coaches. We have a lot of guys volunteering their time away from their families and not getting a dime, and they're working miracles, man. Getting these kids prepared. Now we go into the top 7 of PSAL versus the top 7 in the Catholic School League. I don't know who's
we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do first, right, is again, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Just because there's 3 guys getting paid in the public league, and let's say 6, 10, 12, 15 guys being paid in the Catholic League, what if those budgets, what if the monetary amounts are exactly the same? What if private schools, hold on. What if the private schools, the Catholic schools, are spending the same amount of money that the public school is spending on their coaching staffs? They just spread that money out amongst more people so that they could appreciate those guys and have those guys show up a little more.
So
what if that's what's going on?
Wait. So, Ed, you saying if I come to Cardinal Hayes, you giving me some of your bread, and if I go to Sheepshead, he's not giving me none of his stipends?
So that's a great question. Tuck, that's a great question because he doesn't have to go into his pocket to give you some of his money because there's already money allocated for other coaches. So
that's
we're talking about Catholic.
Yes, Ed, let me finish.
You can't say that though. It's just you can't make statements that just are blatantly false.
You're not going in your pocket to pay another person. It's not the norm. It may happen.
I know a school. I know a school in Queens where coaches routinely split their stipends up with other coaches so that they could have more guys on staff. Right? Routinely. So what you're saying is just not true.
So maybe that is a practice. As black men in America, we can't tell other people what to do with their money. I'm sorry. Let me also ask, what
Shout
I'm
out
is
to
listening.
so
Karen though, Matt.
you know, definitely, Tuck. So Tuck, say if you wanted to come on as a paid assistant at Cardinal Hayes, Coach Ed, what would Tuck need to provide the football program and or school to become a coach?
I just want to say there's 9 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first quarter of Ole Miss versus Miami, and the score is 0 versus 0-0. Just want to make sure everybody knew that. Guys that's still with us, the 0-0 game. Great defensive matchup going on.
Ed, if Tuck
Yeah,
wanted to come coach and be a paid coach at Cardinal Hayes High School, let's not use Cardinal Hayes. Any Catholic school. I don't want to use Cardinal Hayes. I don't want to be
please
personal.
don't.
I don't want to
Yeah,
be personal.
if
I'm
Tuck
sorry.
was going on to is trying to go coach at a Catholic school,
Mm-hmm.
right? He would have to see if there was a spot available for him to become a
Let's say
paid coach.
let's say there is.
Okay, then what's the question? What's the next question?
What does he need to provide to
I mean,
obtain
there's
that
background
spot?
checks, there's
Gotcha.
trainings he has to do, there's
Gotcha.
certifications he has to get. He
Gotcha.
doesn't have to be a licensed teacher,
Don't
right?
jump in front.
He doesn't have
Don't
to be a
jump.
licensed teacher.
Don't
Um,
jump in front of my
but
facts.
I'm gonna ask you, what does being able to teach history got to do with teaching X and O's?
Nothing. And that's one of the
So,
downfalls of the PSAL. But somehow we're able to make it work.
well,
What we-
that's also it's not just it's not a downfall. It's a collectively bargained agreement by the teachers. So guys who are teachers, they have a union. Their union has collectively bargained that protection for them, so that they can be the ones who get that per session per diem money to be coaches. So you know that's it's a benefit that they've earned as a teacher, and you
I
know
think
New York City.
I think you're absolutely correct. So I just say that to say, if we wanted to bring on coaches at a public school, that coach wouldn't have funds set aside for an assistant coach spot because he works for the MTA and he's not a certified teacher. But somehow we're able to get a group of guys at each school and say, listen, we're going to make this work somehow, but we need your help to help our community. And
So
that's why I think the public school and the PSCL is so special, because we
mm,
pour into these kids and we do so much for these kids and receive so little.
so what you're saying to me, Mac, is that they can't receive a check cut by the New York City Department of Education to coach football there.
Volunteers.
No. Stop. Be careful. What you're saying is, I want to be specific about what you're saying. What you're saying is, just anyone can't receive a check cut by New York City to be a coach in the PSAL. Not that they can't receive funds, they just can't receive a check cut by New York City. Correct? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So so they can be paid, and there's ways to get your volunteer your assistant coaches paid.
There's ways.
So I don't know what you're talking about. Why'd you even bring up paid coaches? What does that got to do with apples and oranges?
It's just easy to sell to somebody saying that there's already money set aside for them, for them to come on as
Money
a coach.
set aside by the New York City Department of Education.
I was speaking as far as Catholic schools. It's easy to sell to a coach to have him come on board to coach at a Catholic school because there is a line of money set aside for them to come coach.
Sometimes, and sometimes not.
And sometimes not.
Okay, because there's plenty of volunteer coaches. Oh man, question becomes: are you doing it for the money or for the love of the program? There's some programs out there that have tons of coaches, and everyone ain't getting paid, and they're producing on the field in the public school league. So I don't think but that's not what separates the two leagues. That's not what separates the play on the field. The amount of coaches being paid. I'm asking you what's
The amount of
separating
coaches involved.
what's
but
separating the play on
Mac
the
is
field?
saying the amount of coaches involved because a lot of volunteers they may not come to practice.
They may come once a week.
Yeah.
And what you gonna say to them? They have other obligations. You
Mac,
can't say nothing
Mac.
to
So
them.
I'm gonna ask you again. What separates the play on the? Are you conceding that the Catholic League is better play on the field?
No.
Is that why you have this defense about how many coaches you have? Are you conceding that?
No.
Because if you're conceding that, we don't got to talk about it no more. We can just move on to another subject.
So if we want to get into that, I attended the Erasmus versus Cardinal Hayes game scrimmage.
All right, so it's a minute. It's an hour 10, man. Lyle. I heard the check did not clear at the bank. This might have to wait. This might have to wait for another episode, man. We supposed to be hold on. This is about the ecosystem of New York City football. We touched on youth leagues, we touched on trainers in 7-on-7. We're now talking about high school football. Before you say what you about to say about anybody playing anybody else, just want to talk again about the PSL League. There's a rumor that a couple of teams are moving up to the 4A. Do you have any comment on that?
I thought we was talking about PSL versus. You don't see the chat? They would say Iona, E-Hall. I think everybody forgot that E-Hall game scrimmage was a scrimmage with Hayes. I don't know why they're saying Iona.
The champion versus champion is what they're thinking about.
Yeah, that's E-Hall versus Iona.
I kind of think this is a whole show in of itself. I don't want to get them 4 minutes on this. Do you want to give them 4 minutes on this? I think this is a whole hour by itself. You really want to give them 4 minutes?
All right, you're right. You're right.
And there's the Stephen A. Smith.
Yo, you really want to get them 4 minutes, man? Or you want to? I think
you got it.
You sure?
You got it. You got it.
But man,
top 7 versus top 7, man. Some people said the 7-0. Some people say 2-5.
Yeah, I saw
7-0 crazy.
I saw
7-0 crazy.
So
crazy.
So can we name the top public schools? Top 7?
I can't. I'm not getting into that.
No, Matt. He's in public. I mean, I know of a couple of schools.
Let's do this. Let's just go 4A. You have a ranking system, right?
Yeah, 4A.
Who has one?
The PSAL.
Oh.
There's a ranking system where guys are ranked 1 through 53.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
No, 4A.
I've seen it, Mac. I've
never seen that.
It's not from 1 to 53. It's from 4A.
I saw a ranking system. I saw a ranking system that put a line in between guys and said this will be the 3A now. A line here.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know that.
All right, and guys were ranked in order of by PowerPoints or by something.
Yes,
they were ranked in. Okay, so we can use that ranking and put those teams against the Catholic schools because they come out with rankings, right? We can do that, but I don't want to do it in 3. We got 2 minutes left. I don't want to do that in 2 minutes for the people.
I agree.
Yeah, 17 votes PSL versus Catholic League. 80%.
We got a poll. What's the poll?
That was the poll.
Oh man, Mac, you see what Lyle said? They expected you to put a better one, but Lyle, I've been shoulder. I got my, you know what I'm saying?
So
I got my shoulder. No, but again, the game is on, fellas. We got it. Damn.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to dive. in.
Damn.
I think the PSL has a great chance, depending on the matchups. I think next episode we should match the teams up. I think we can have Dre produce the matchups.
Or later down the road.
Even mentioning Dre, man, we got to bring Dre on, man. This guy blessed us with this show. We got let that man show his face and give him all his flowers now.
Flowers?
Man. Give him his flowers now.
No, definitely, man.
Trey said he's in the background. He's standing.
Dre, you gotta come out, Dre, man. Yo, I appreciate you for allowing me to be on this podcast. And Dre, show yours. You gotta come on, Dre. This is the opportunity, man. We ain't letting this go, man.
Dre
my
really
man.
talks.
Yeah, Oh man, he said he off.
Hey,
Dre's off
just
today.
for
All right, Dre.
with us, I appreciate you guys. It's 3-0 Miami right now. 3-0. I
See how they
appreciate
do
you
me,
guys
y'all?
sticking with us.
Yeah, my
Oh,
man.
there you
See
go.
how they do me, y'all?
What he Trey?
That's
What's
like
up,
this is my guy's
What's
pet.
up, Trey?
I'm on my off day. I'm on my
Yeah.
off. I don't got no virtual background. They see
I
in
hear
my
you.
room.
I
That's
hear
the
you.
producer
On my
right there.
I
off
appreciate you, Dre.
day.
Word, man.
Yeah, for real.
Crazy.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
man. We appreciate
Matt
you.
got me looking
Hey,
through
Dre, man.
all
I'm
these
not.
messages.
I appreciate that. I
This
appreciate
one
that,
message.
man. Ed was going to definitely hit me up after the show if you ain't find that, man. I really appreciate that. But Ed, I think
Woo! Yeah,
Yeah,
you
well
saved him. You
deserved,
saved
man.
him.
He had to come on his day off, man. 5 minutes, 2 seconds, whatever.
yeah,
Give this man his flowers, man. He
Yeah.
helping New
Hey,
York
guys,
City.
I just want to say I
Football,
appreciate you guys.
basketball.
Salute,
Word.
y'all. Salute. I'm going
I think
back
this was a
to
great
the back
conversation
on
tonight. Next week, Mac, I know you want to talk about PSAL versus Catholic League, and I think we'll get there eventually. But I really want to talk about recruiting
I feel
because
like it's
that
our
recruiting
duty.
seminar is coming up.
It's our duty to. We had 40 people in the chat. I just checked, and I think it's our duty to give the people what they want the next episode. We can definitely dive into what we had scheduled.
So no problem. So I'll give them what they want.
We got to dive in on recruitment too, because
Yeah.
we
Absolutely.
just spoke a little bit about it, but we definitely got to dive into recruitment
And what that's
how
looking like.
other high schools can help other kids in different high schools.
Woo, that's big right there.
Absolutely.
that's a fact.
Ecosystem working together, right? Again, how we
Absolutely.
put these pieces together. I agree with you guys. So
We gotta help. We
so
gotta
I'm
help. We gotta
gonna
do a
try to
lot
do
of helping,
my
man.
best.
Because a kid don't want to come to your school. Don't be that guy like, nah, I'm not going to help the kid. He chose a different school. That's cool. That's fine. But
Absolutely.
still, you
I
see the
completely
game film. You watch the game film. You study who's who. Put the kids on, man. It's about the kids at the end of the day. So New York City say.
With that
But that's
said,
the topic we definitely gotta bring up, man. Recruitment.
we will. With that said, I want to thank everybody that was in the chat today, everybody that was watching live on YouTube. Make sure you like the reels is gonna come out. We're gonna have Mac doing trying to do his best deflection but like I said, top
Definitely
7.
shout out I Am
know what it is.
Propane, man.
You know what it is. Yeah, definitely shout out I Am Propane for the love, for Adam Howard for that love. We appreciate you guys. Sage, we appreciate the platform. This is it. This is After the Snap, the podcast that's going to talk about everything that happens off the field, right? What matters, what doesn't matter, and how to make the right decisions so that you can move your program, your son, yourself to another level, right? We appreciate you guys. Signing off. After the